Hi, hi all. It's me, Anitha, Assistant Professor, Department of Business Administration, St. Joseph's College for Women, Tripur. Now we are going to see introduction about business correspondence. Business correspondence is that part of business communication which deals with the written communication between business persons which is necessary for their business transaction. It's also known as commercial transaction. This communication facilitates the transaction of business which is essentially carried out through the written format. Next one, meaning of business correspondence. Business correspondence is the exchange of written information between parties involved in a business relationship. It can take place between organizations, within an organization, or between customers and an organization. It also important because it allows people to express themselves, ask questions, and communicate ideas and information. Some importance of business correspondence are basis of decision making and planning, which means the quality of decision taken by the management is mainly based on the quality of communication. It also helps in appropriate execution of the plans and policies of the management. The next one is ensures continuous and efficient working, which means it makes possible for the managers to modify and regulate the activities of the employees towards their goals. Ensures proper coordination. It also promotes coordination and brings people together. Improves managerial efficiency, depends on his capabilities to communicate effectively with other employees in the organization. The last one important of business correspondence is effective control, which means it also plays a major role as a tool for effective control. Some purpose of business correspondence are requesting information, ordering supplies, making and answering inquiries, making and responding to complaints, promoting product and services. What are the nature of communication? So first one is the continuous process. Communication is an ongoing process. It includes various events and actions that are interconnected and dependent on each other. The second one is the two-way traffic. Communication is a two-way process of understanding between two or more persons, which may also called as sender and receiver. A person cannot communicate with himself. The third one is the short-lived process. Here, the receiver receives the message and understands it in the right context. The communication process is completed. Next, communication we can also show as an universal phenomenon, which means it takes place everywhere, not only human being but birds, animals, etc. Contextual, which takes place in particular context. The meaning of communicated words may change according to the context. Next one, need proper understanding. The message what we are communicating should be clearly and briefly expressed in words. The main objective is appropriate understanding of the message by the receiver. Next one, leads to the achievement of organizational objectives. Effective communication leads to achievement of the organizational objectives by creating a sense of objectivity in the organization. Eliminates misunderstanding. Here, the misunderstanding occurs when there is a failure to understand or interpret words or actions correctly. Communication removes misunderstanding among people and helps in developing good relationship. Some of the essentials of communication are conciseness, correctness, concreteness, clarity, completeness, consideration, and courtesy. What's meant by conciseness? It's one of the essential conditions for effective business communication, and a concise message is complete without being lengthy. Correctness means using appropriate level of language, fact, figures, and words. Concreteness, which means the message should be exact, specific words to support the message of the relevant facts and figures to communicate the right message. Clarity. The communication process starts with the clarity of expression and clarity of thought generation in the mind of the communicator. It should be clear in words so that the receiver can interpret. Completeness. While communication, the information should be complete. Then only the receiver can understand the message. Consideration. The sender should follow a benevolent approach and understand the emotions, sentiments, and needs of the receiver. The last one is the courtesy, which means the friendly and caring attitude for others. The communication could be with polite manner. Some process of communication are: first one, sender, which means the individual, group or organization that starts the process of communication is known as sender or encoder. Second thing, message. The encoded ideas that is transferred by the sender is called message. It can be verbal or non-verbal communication. Third process is encoding. It's a method by which idea or thought of the message is converted into symbols that can be transmitted. Then fourth process is channel. The medium by which the message moves from sender to receiver is known as channel. It includes newspapers, radio, TV, etc. Then next one is the receiver. The targeted recipient of the message is known as the receiver. The next process is decoding. It is the stage where the receiver decodes the encoded message. He interprets and come out with the meaning of the message. The next process is feedback. The receiver responds to the communication that has been transmitted by the sender. The reaction or response of the receiver to the sender is known as feedback. Then last process of communication is noise. It's that interruption in the communication process which hinders communication process. The next one is the types of communication. So first one is on the basis of organizational structure. We have two types of communication. The first one is the formal and the second one is the informal. So formal communication means through a proper chain of command is known as formal communication. Here the flow of communication through the position in the organizational hierarchy. The second one is the informal communication. So informal communication does not function in the lines of authority. It's all about communal relationship among the members of the organization. We can also tell as informal communication as a grapevine communication. Then second one on the basis of direction. So first thing, upward communication, which flows along the line of authority from lower level workers to the high level executives through middle level executives. So it is also known as vertical communication. Second one is the downward communication, which flows from top level management to lower level staff. It may also written or oral communication. The next one is the lateral communication. Communication between the various departments working at the same level or between employees in the same departments without any kind of superior subordinate relation is known as lateral or horizontal communication. Next one is the diagonal communication. So the communication involves the horizontal flow of information amongst employees present at different levels having no direct reporting relation. It is also known as crosswise communication. Next one, inward communication. It includes the information received by the organization from external agencies like government, other organization, suppliers, customers, competitors, etc. Next one is the outward communication. The communication which the organization maintains within the outside world. So it's also called as outward communication. On the basis of way of expression, there are two types. So verbal communication. So verbal communication means the use of words to share the information with other people. It can be therefore include both spoken and written communication. So first thing is oral communication, which means oral exchange or conveying information or message between a sender and a receiver. Second thing is the written communication. The communication send an expression of ideas and concepts in the written form. For example, we can write a communication through the letter. Next one is the non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication means the transmission of message or signals through a non-verbal platform such as eye contact, facial expression, gestures, postures, etc. Thank you.